we make sure we hire quality because it's a tough job, and we got to make sure we get the right people, and that's why we're working hard to make sure we do.
The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency is seeing a massive surge in job applications after a new hiring drive. More than 100,000 Americans have reportedly applied to ICE since a recruitment push began at the end of July. The drive was launched by the Trump administration to add 10,000 new agents to the immigration force. The Department of Homeland Security reportedly said that the campaign is offering incentives and easing some limits on who can apply for the jobs. By August 6th, ICE had already received 80,000 applications, and that number jumped in just a few days. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem told Fox News that the country urgently needs men and women to serve at ICE. She said the goal is to remove violent criminals and secure the nation after failed immigration policies. Notably, applicants must pass a medical screening, drug test, and physical fitness check to qualify for training. To draw more recruits, ICE is offering signing bonuses of up to $50,000 in student loan repayment. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons said the hiring push is funded by the new One Big Beautiful Bill. He linked the effort to combating millions of criminal illegal aliens in the U.S. under Biden's policies. DHS data shows assaults on ICE agents have risen by over 1,000% amid protests and unrest nationwide.
DHS says 100,000 Americans have signed up to be a part of ICE. How many of those folks do you think will ultimately get signed on in order for the agency to meet its implementation goals?
Well, we need to hire 10,000, so we need to hire the best of that 100,000. We make sure we hire quality because it's a tough job, and we got to make sure we get the right people, and that's why we're working hard to make sure we do.
Since President Trump has taken office, we have arrested hundreds of thousands of these illegal criminals. I'm here today because the elected leaders in this state of Illinois are ignoring the law. In fact, they're being obstructionists when it comes to getting dangerous criminals off of their streets. They are deciding that dangerous criminals that are murderers, rapists, money launderers, have committed assault, that are trafficking children, are more important than the families that live in the communities here. That includes Governor Pritzker, Mayor Johnson, and others who have worked so hard to protect these dangerous criminals. They'd rather be a sanctuary state and continue to put those individuals above American citizens who built this country, who've raised their families here for generations and just want to be able to walk down the street safely at night and put their kids to bed and live a peaceful life. Today, I'm highlighting 4 different examples of individuals that we've recently arrested here out of this office with the good work of ICE and our HSI officers that we've taken off the streets without the help of the governor or the mayor. Our federal officers have had to do this alone without their support, and these dangerous individuals are now no longer victimizing people because of the good work that we do. Hector Bonaparte is a 42-year-old illegal Mexican alien who had previously been convicted of predatory sexual criminal assault against a victim under the age of 13. We have Jarvin Flores Santos, who's a 40-year-old Honduras individual who was arrested back in 2020 the first time for aggravated criminal sexual abuse and attempted criminal sexual abuse of a minor under the age of 13 again. And Waldemar Jabik, a Polish citizen who had been convicted in 2014 for attempted murder and then also aggravated domestic battery. He was convicted of these after he stabbed his own wife and his 19-year-old daughter. It was not the first time that police had been called to his house for domestic disturbance, but he was never held accountable until recently by these federal officers. Don Gay Silas, a 33-year-old illegal alien from Micronesia, has had 3 DUI convictions, and as well as convictions of criminal mischief, of wanton endangerment, and driving without a license. These individuals would still be out on our streets today, committing crimes and attacking people and harming them and hurting our children if Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson had their way, because their choice has been routinely over and over and over again to release these criminals back on the streets. The debate over so-called sanctuary policy has consequences for our law enforcement officers, but also for the families that live here and the businesses that are just trying to provide for their community. Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson are answering that question every single day of who should be our priority, who should be our responsibility, and over again, they're choosing criminals. In just the last 7 months, ICE has issued over 1,664 detainers in Chicago alone. 1,664 detainers we have lodged against violent criminals, and that is a 106% increase over what was issued during the Biden administration. Unfortunately, Chicago and its leadership has only honored 8% of those. That means every other person, when they're released from paying for the consequences of their crimes, back onto our streets without any notification to individuals or to the families that have been victimized by them. By getting those 8% at least off of the street, the brave men and women of ICE are saving American lives. Yesterday, we announced that now our ICE officers are facing a 1,000% increase in assaults against them. And you read about the stories and hear what's happening from coast to coast every day in our national media and in our press. But it's in large part due to the pro-sanctuary state and cities policies and the language of elected bureaucrats and politicians that are reckless with their lives and endangering their families. Every public official should talk about and work to protect people, to keep them safe and American people's lives safe.
27 cases isolated and tracked 71% of current ICE detainees.
That's not true. Charges and convictions, over 70% of them have pending charges against them or criminal convictions. The others all have final removal orders, which means they're eligible to go back home. Nobody's getting swept up. We're running targeted enforcement operations across the country and using our case files and our information to know who is a criminal in this country that needs to be removed and who has a final removal order. Nothing's changed. Huh? What's wrong with our targeting? Well, they're not following the law if they're here illegally. There's a right way to come to this country. And so, yes, I'm talking about criminals in these situations, absolutely. But we also have every situation where we have those that have final removal orders need to go home because their due process is over and they have their papers. 70% of these individuals that we have gone out and arrested and removed from the country have had those pending charges and criminal convictions against them.